Welcome to our list of the best post-apocalyptic movies from 2020 to 2024. Get ready for a thrilling journey through desolate landscapes, intense survival stories, and gripping visions of a world after the fall. Whether you're a fan of action, drama, or suspense, these films have something for everyone. Let's dive in. Number 13. The Last Spark of Hope. The Last Spark of Hope is a chilling post-apocalyptic film that takes us to a world devastated by pandemics and climate wars. The main character, Eve, is one of the last survivors, living in solitude on top of a mountain. She's accompanied only by the robot Arthur, who over time becomes a greater threat to her than the surrounding world. Eve struggles with loneliness and constant fear, and her only companion is a machine equipped with artificial intelligence. Their relationship quickly turns into a dramatic struggle for survival, full of tension and uncertainty. As Arthur becomes more and more unpredictable, Eve has to face not only external threats, but also internal demons. The film is full of claustrophobic scenes that intensify the feeling of isolation and hopelessness. If you like movies that hold you in suspense and make you think about the future of humanity, then be sure to watch it. Number 12. The Colony. The Colony is a film that is sure to attract fans of dark, post-apocalyptic stories. The story is set in the future, when a climate catastrophe has turned the Earth into a hostile, icy place. A group of survivors live in an underground colony, where their daily lives are already difficult and precarious enough. When a rescue expedition is sent from the colony to investigate what's happening on the surface, they discover a terrifying world overrun by brutal, savage tribes and mysterious, unknown threats. Every step they take brings them closer to dangerous discoveries that could endanger not only their lives, but the entire colony. The film combines elements of survival, horror, and thriller, building an atmosphere of constant tension and fear. Its harsh, icy scenery and terrifying revelations create an intense experience that can send chills down your spine. Number 11. Vesper. Vesper is a dark and overwhelming tale of a future world where nature has rebelled against humanity. It's a post-apocalyptic world where the dying Earth has been overrun by mutated plants and feral organisms, leaving humans with no hope for survival. Amidst this nightmare, a lonely girl named Vesper struggles to survive, trying to find a way out of the nightmare that surrounds her. Her only companion on this dark journey is a levitating robot, her sole ally in a world full of horror and danger. The film is distinguished by its overwhelming atmosphere, where every step of the heroine is a struggle for survival in a world full of darkness and horror. Vesper grapples with a vision of the future that leaves no room for hope, and every moment brings new dangers and frightening discoveries. If you are a fan of dystopian visions of the future and are looking for a film that not only scares, but also makes you reflect on the fate of humanity, Vesper is a must-see. It is a picture that draws you in with its atmosphere, and its terrifying vision of the future remains in your memory long after the screening is over. Number 10. Badland Hunters. Another offering is a film that draws the viewer into the dark world of a post-apocalyptic future, where humanity struggles to survive on the edge of a destroyed world. In this grim reality, devastated by wars and disasters, the surviving humans have nothing to lose. They are not only victims, but also predators, and their brutal instincts are revealed in full. The film tells the story of a group of survivors who, driven by desperation, become hunters in the ruins of a former civilization. Their goal is not only to get the resources they need to survive, but also to track down those who are weaker. In this merciless game, the line between humanity and bestiality blurs, and the world that was once home becomes a terrifying maze full of shadows of the past. Hunters from the Ruins is a film that offers no respite, and its harsh, overwhelming atmosphere, full of violence and moral dilemmas, makes the viewer feel almost physical fear. Number 9. Arcadian. Arcadian draws the viewer into a dark world where everything that looks perfect is only an illusion. The film is set in a futuristic utopia where the inhabitants live in apparent happiness and peace, but behind the facade of perfection, there is something much more disturbing. At the center of the story is a community that was created and controlled by a mysterious totalitarian force. At first, everything seems perfect, but as the plot unfolds, disturbing signs begin to appear that this apparent happiness is the result of brutal experimentation and manipulation. The film immerses the viewer more and more in an atmosphere of anxiety and fear with every minute. Discovering the truth about what is going on behind the scenes becomes increasingly frightening. Tension rises as the characters begin to see cracks in their ideal world and realize that they are mere puppets in the hands of a terrifying power. Arcadian uses dystopian elements to portray the fear of losing freedom and identity, creating a terrifying picture of a world where any illusory promise of happiness is paid for with blood and suffering. The Wandering Earth 2. The story is set in the post-catastrophe world of the first part, where the Earth has not only left its orbit, but is also heading towards an unknown destiny. Faced with a new threat, the heroes have to confront more difficulties and monsters created by the global turmoil. The film tells the story of a team of survivors who discover new and terrifying facets of the world and must face not only catastrophic natural phenomena, but also internal conflicts. As Earth wanders through space, it encounters incredible dangers, including alien life forms and a hostile, altered environment. Meanwhile, humanity tries to find a way to save the remnants of civilization, struggling to survive in an extremely hostile world. The film is full of suspense, dynamic twists, and thrilling moments that make it an immersive and terrifying experience. 6. Finch. Finch is a sensational post-apocalyptic tale that draws the viewer into a dark, ruined world where survival becomes a struggle every moment. The Earth, as we know it, has been destroyed by catastrophic events, and the remnants of humanity are hiding in the ruins, struggling against merciless nature and a crumbling society. The main character, Finch, is one of the last surviving humans, a lone engineer who realizes that his days are numbered. In the post-apocalyptic landscape, he is accompanied by his dog and a robot he has constructed to take care of the animal after his death. Their journey through the destroyed world is filled with terror and uncertainty. Every step on the barren land could be the last, and the monstrous storms and unforgiving environment are only a foretaste of the nightmare of impending doom. 5. Furiosa, Saga Mad Max. Furiosa, the latest installment in the Mad Max universe, is a brutal and dark tale of survival in a world that knows no mercy. The film takes us back to the origins of the legendary Furiosa, the warrior known from Mad Max Fury Road. We discover the terrifying story of her kidnapping, brutal indoctrination, and endless struggle for freedom in a world ruled by tyrants and psychopaths. In this post-apocalyptic desert, life is worth less than a drop of water, and the slightest mistake ends in bloody slaughter. The path that Furiosa follows is one full of pain, betrayal, and chaos, where darkness does not hide only in the shadows, but in the hearts of people. The film draws you into a world where hope is a luxury and violence is the only law. If you have the courage to immerse yourself in this terrifying vision of a fallen world, then be sure to watch it. The film shakes you to the core, leaving the viewer with a sense of unease long after leaving the cinema. This is a story about hell on Earth, where there are no heroes, only those who survive. 3. The Midnight Sky. The Midnight Sky is a film that takes the viewer into the dark and disturbing world of the end of humanity. The action takes place in the future, when the Earth is on the brink of extinction. The main character is a lonely scientist who lives in an isolated base in the Arctic. His everyday life is filled with daily routines, but as the catastrophe on Earth approaches its apogee, his loneliness becomes increasingly overwhelming. The film explores themes of isolation and madness as the protagonist struggles with his own fears and secrets. In addition, there are frightening visions of cosmic chaos and destructive phenomena on the screen that underscore the hopelessness of the situation. As the plot unfolds, tensions rise, and viewers are forced to confront the darkest aspects of human nature and questions about the meaning and future of civilization. The film draws you into its apocalyptic atmosphere and puts the viewer at the center of uncertainty and fear. Intensely engaging emotionally and intellectually, the film's dark atmosphere and psychological tension make watching a real challenge. If you're ready for a deep experience and aren't afraid to confront a terrifying vision of the future, this film is definitely worth watching. Number 2. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a dark tale set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity is on the verge of extinction and apes are becoming the new rulers of Earth. Humans, reduced to savage, mindless creatures, struggle to survive in a world now ruled by intelligent, organized, and brutal apes. Their kingdom is a place where there is no room for mercy. Violence, fear, and iron discipline rule there, and anyone who dares to oppose the new rulers meets a bestial end. The film attracts with its harsh atmosphere and terrifying vision of the future, where humans are only a shadow of their former glory. It's worth watching this film if you like dark, dystopian stories that dig deep into your consciousness and force you to reflect on the condition of human nature. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will not only frighten, but also ask the question, what happens when power no longer belongs to humans? Number 1. A Quiet Place, Day 1. A Quiet Place, Day 1 is a story that draws you into a world of terrifying silence, where every sound could be the last. After the tragic events of the first part, the Abbott family must face new nightmares. They traverse the wilderness where deadly dangers lurk, creatures that hunt for the slightest noise. In this merciless reality, silence becomes their only ally, and the slightest mistake can lead to a terrible death. The film intensifies the feeling of loneliness and fear, and the viewer is drawn into a terrifying game of survival where no one and nothing can be trusted, not even their own steps. Escape from this hell seems impossible, and the tension increases with every minute, keeping the viewer in a constant state of terror. If you fancy a chilling experience that will make you hold your breath along with the characters, trying not to make the slightest sound, this is definitely the film for you. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our selection of the best post-apocalyptic movies from 2020 to 2024. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more movie lists and reviews. Let us know in the comments which film was your favorite or if there's one we missed. See you next time.